In this video, I tried to take 4 positions at once, and it goes wrong. Daily Race B, we see maybe an attempted murder there. Up ahead, and in Daily Race C, we have a Rally Crossing 4 GT at Daytona. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Gran Turismo Weekly Race Guide here in 2024. We're on week 2 of 2024, and what a week, oh my word, in the background. You're driving my car. Yes, this is the car I drive in real life. Now, I know for you US folks, you have a lot of Nissan 370Zs. In the UK, they're rare. There's only under 50 of mine driving on the road right now around the country. So it's kind of, you know, a big deal for me. You know, I'm excited by that, and I do like the car as well. Right, what are we doing first? We're at Tsukuba. We are doing 5 laps that you can see right there. It's a grid start with a false start check, and we're on the sports hard tyres. BOP is on, so of course you can add some body kits, you know, liveries and all that good stuff, but that's all you can do, really. DR updates are off, of course. You can see that at the top right there. And that's all you really need to know about this combo. Now, I know a lot of you don't like Race A. You want to go into the race cars. So there are some timestamps in the background for you for Daily Race B and Daily Race C. However, of course, I was not missing this race. In fact, I've done the race twice today. You're going to see the second race, and I'll talk about the first race a little bit later on because we've got a couple of bloopers from that one as well. Let's jump into it then. Let's have a look exactly what happens. Right, here we are then at the start. Who's in this race? Sonic starting on pole position. We've got Marlboro livery in P2 there. Sonic joined us again for this one. Now, traction control on 1. Hold that handbrake. Now, in real life, the traction on this car is dreadful from 0 miles an hour. So, yes, this traction control is very much needed as we see it right here. And only cut some power more in real life as we head towards turn 1. And I will stop talking about it, of course, as we've got Consta in here as well, part of R4M, the Ram team, of course, Super GT's team, as we go into turn 1. And it's all looking fairly okay. Consta, of course, an Olympian, as well as from Greece. Can you name a more iconic duo? I'm not too sure. But we do get past the Dutchman there, up into P11 then, as we go into left-hander. Constant goes deep then. Sonic on the inside of Poco and Marcus Hamburg then, as we continue on out of here. It's side-by-side action then. Oh, just have to brake there because the German came across a little bit here. Constant still on our inside then, as we continue on through that right-hander. We've got a horn. No horns. No horns here, as we head towards the sharp right-hander here. Constant on the inside here. 3 wide. I did notice that. That's why I gave extra space. Constant, unfortunately, goes a bit too deep then into Mario Sonic. Just going to go off the circuit. Let's Mario Sonic go, and I'm going to take full advantage of that and go up into P10 then. In fact, Mario Sonic's stuck in a bit of a box here, so I'm going to try and go up into P9. Poco up ahead then in towards the right-hander. Oh, looks like Poco's gone a bit deep then as we go in to here. We're at side-by-side Mario Sonic then as we continue on through. Constant's coming back at us as well. I just leave enough space for Mario Sonic to come back on. Constant on my inside here as we go into turn number 1. I know Constant's going to go for it. There's Constant. Goes too deep. We go back on the inside here. We continue on out, and we make it here indeed. Look at me cheer there. Yes, I was happy with that one. Yes, indeed. We're up into P8 then. It's very hard to overtake on this race, I will say that. As we see Marcus Hamburg there gets it all sorts of wrong. Slightly tapped them there because it basically stopped there on the old hairpin. But we continue on out. That 370's had a beating, hasn't it? Look at that rear left panel. There's lots of bumps in that one. We're going to need a lot more boiling water to get rid of those. And a bit of T-cut as well as we continue on then. We've got the yellow 370Z. We're past it, actually. It was on the inside. We are past. We're up into P7 as we continue on out of here then. I say, it might look easy to overtake here. It's really not easy to overtake. Now, this car is a very heavy car. Even in real life, it's a heavy car, and it does suffer with that weight. So, of course, with Gran Turismo's weight transitions, you are going to suffer some oversteer from weight transitions, or oversteer from going on the grass like Anita did there, and with nowhere to go there with the rear wing. The rear wing not helping you there as we head towards turn number 1 then. Going to go hard on the brakes, defending on the inside line. Marcus has sent it on Anita, so we're going to try and keep this position then. Oh, I think there's a bit of rubbing there as we continue on through up into P6 then. Of course, Steve's position as we catch up to the next pack then. I had the world record at the time of this race. I think I've been knocked off there now as we continue on through here. I was enjoying driving this car. And it's very much better than at the start of the game, this car, because obviously you do a license test here in a 370 and it started to feel more realistic now in terms of its feel as we go into the right hander then. Republic goes around the outside, defends it nice. He goes a bit too quick though. Gonna suffer on the exit then, having to slow up a little bit then. We're gonna try and get a run on them. Not quite happening here then as we cross to start the final lap here, heading towards turn 1. We're on the inside. I swear they just hit the handbrake there. They locked the rear wheels. Anyway, we'll take that then. Thank you very much, mate. I think they were locking the handbrake there, trying to get a bit of rotation. Doesn't work that way. Anyway, we head towards the end of the lap. And unfortunately for Sonic, we're going to steal that fastest lap there as well with a 1 minute 3.6. Good fun race, this one, but it's really hard to overtake, and there will be contact in this race. Lots of oversteer. As you see, there's lots of BBs in here. I do expect oversteer and moments from a BB driver, which is why, I wouldn't go crazy on them for having those moments like Anita did there. Right, heading towards turn 1, I'm going to tell you how to do this. On the right side, there's a building, load of buildings. The last building there is your brake marker as it hits the edge of your screen, and you're going to go hard on the brakes. Third gear, drop to second gear. The second gear is going to allow a bit of rotation. Don't get the rotation this time, but we keep it steady on exit. It's all about modulating the throttle, going slowly onto the accelerator, okay? Because if you go full foot to the floor, it's going to spin its wheels. It does that in real life as well, so, well done, Gran Turismo. You've got it right. Head towards the hairpin then as the curb protrudes into the circuit. That is your brake marker, okay? Again, second gear. Try and keep it nice and tidy for this one. Slowly onto the accelerator, 50%, then to 100 there as we exit. Camber helping us out a little bit here as well. 2 markers to use here. You can use the corner of the building. I don't use that. I actually use the orange to white barrier, and I'm braking before that and turning in. Okay, so dab of the brakes, turn in. Allow the car to just get a bit of a 4-wheel drift. You can feel the weight a little bit, try and accelerate through. And then what I do here is I tend to lift a little bit and then go, because you will suffer a bit of understeer. Head towards the hairpin then. We're looking for either the 50 board on the left-hand side or that pole on the right-hand side. Either of these are brake markers. Once again, you're going down to second gear in this car. Do be careful on exit. Power oversteer is definitely there here as we go into this, so just be careful as you start to accelerate. Notice I went 50, then 75, then 100, and nice and easy out the corner. Here we go as we head towards the final corner. Now, what we're looking for is on the right-hand side then, folks. You can see a load of billboards here. So you got those 2 billboards there. The middle of them, so you got the blue Tsukuba sign, and I can't quite see what the white sign is there, but the middle of them there, that is your perfect brake marker. But just use the billboards, okay? That's what I'm trying to identify here. As I go into here, just trail braking into the corner, trying to maintain a speed. I want you to try and maintain 70 miles an hour as a minimum through that corner, and you should make it out on the exit. That's a 103.0. Happy days indeed. And that is it for race A as we jump to some race cars now in race B, where you are seeing lots of Mazda 3s because we're at Dragontrail Seaside in Group 4. What exactly are we doing here? That is the question you're asking. Well, we're doing 4 laps. It's a rolling start on racing hard tyres. Tyres will fuel and tyre weather, and you can only change the brake balance this week. Of course, the Mazda 3, very quick car, very quick indeed. It is the go-to car here, and for sure will be the dominant car throughout the week. Let's jump into that race and let's have a look exactly what happens, because we have the death chicane to deal with. Right then, who's in what then? Chelsea signing pole on the Mazda 3. We've got Supra in here. We've got GT by Citroen there, by Stermos. Right, let's jump into this race then. If you're not subscribed already, as always, please do subscribe. I appreciate the support. And we've got a 50k special to have fun with as we go into turn 1 then. Everybody everywhere. We've got MG Flash in a GTR, but we've got the inside of Mario Sonic then. We made the right decision there to get on the inside. And we're on the inside of this GTR, which is no match for a Mazda as we head towards the right hand. Never would you say that in real life, but there we go, in towards this second right-hander, and we've got lots of smoke up ahead. Somebody's binned it somehow, some way, somewhere, as we continue on out of here in P14. 2 positions gained already here at Dragontrail Seaside. Now, I do expect the racing to be like this in every single race this week, as we see the Citroen just go a bit deep. We've got more than one Citroen in here. What's going on? What, is it Citroen week? I'm not too sure. Anyway, through the left we go. Let's see how good that Citroen actually is versus Mazda 3. I don't think it's going to be very good here. Look at the speed difference. It's absolutely ginormous then as we head towards this braking zone. Then, oh, they're hard on their brakes. They're trying to outbrake the Mazda 3. That's very hard to do. Too hard, in fact. Just a slight nudge off there. They are going to let me go, though. I appreciate that. I can see that it was a mistake. All good. We carry on. But yeah, Mazda 3 is very hard to outbrake because it has the best brakes in this class, it feels like, as well as the best acceleration. It's all-round OP is what we'll call this. Now, into the chicane of death we go. We got 1 death there, nearly myself as well, and Hodgson's going very slow. So that is going to be another place gain, hopefully, here as we go past that Mazda 3. It is indeed. Up into P12 then. 4 places gained in 1 lap, not too shabby. The start of lap 2 here, and we've got a lot of cars up ahead. The Lamborghini up there as well, as we look to try and get the inside of Mario Sonic again. A bit of deja vu here. Not going to quite work, though, as we continue on up here. Oh, well, oh, in petrol we trust. Not liking something from Danny Ingalls there. That did scare me a little bit here. Mario Sonic on the inside there, just getting, well, a bit loose, should we say, as we go into the right-hander. Now, I wasn't too sure there in petrol we trust about their driving, so I'm going to be a bit more cautious here. I don't know whether they were purposely doing that, but they weren't putting Mario Sonic, but I was like, okay, Let's just take it calm, nice and steady now. Let's see what happens here. We're going into the S's then. This is where the Mazda 3 does suffer a little bit versus other cars. But the second we leave it is where it benefits. So through the left we go here. We leave the S's. And we get a good run on the Swiss driver then as we head down the hill then. Side by side. Here we go. Who's going to be the last of the late breakers then? Hard on the brakes. The Swiss driver still on my inside here. Gets it stopped beautifully as we leave this corner still side by side. I was a bit worried at this moment, but then I realized you gave me space. It was beautiful driving here. So what I'm going to do, let off there. Don't go too wide into the chicane of death because there will be death if you do that. As we go into here, just dabbing the brakes a little bit. That was a bit dangerous then. As we continue on through then. And where are we going here? Well, someone looks like someone's going slow here. There's Lamborghini on the left-hand side in Petrol Trust trying to go by here. We're going to look on the inside of them. They give me plenty of room here again as we go through this corner. Oh, looks like I'm just ahead. I'm looking at that radar. Looking at the radar. Through we go. Up into P10 we go. Let's fast forward a little bit here because they're going to have a good run on me. But instead, they give me a bump draft. Thank you so much, mate. I appreciate that because we could go forward here with a Toyota Supra up ahead of HZ from South Africa. So into turn 1 we go. Be sure we can make light words of this Supra if we can. That's a strong car in Group 4, by the way. But here, the Mazda 3 is so strong. So I highly advise if you are wanting to at least have a chance of winning, pick the Mazda 3. Of course, pick what you like. Pick what you enjoy driving. I know some of you hate driving the front-wheel drive cars. Our Supra's gone a bit deep there then as we continue on out of this corner and you're about to see the acceleration of this Mazda 3 come into its own once again. Look at this. We just dropped the Supra instantly here. So we're up into P9 then as we go into the S's. That McLaren goes a little bit deep then as we go into the right. It's all about rhythm for this part of the circuit. You have to nail it. As we go to the left, I get a good run through here. That McLaren starts to understeer. Just bottoms out on the curb. Oh, and that's an untimely and, yeah, bad death there as we go in towards the chicane of death then. Any deaths this time round as we go into the left-hander. Oh, yes, there is. Danny's gone. It's another death at the chicane. Oh, it's notorious for this, folks. If you are new to Gran Turismo, it is absolutely notorious for it on that chicane. It really does. It destroys people. It destroys people's egos. It destroys people's fastest laps. It destroys everything. It's destroyed my fastest lap plenty of times today, trying to go for a under 1 minute 45 second lap. Oh, we'll get my words out here. Right, starting the final lap then. We're behind the curbing machine here. We've just got the fastest lap actually in the race then as we head towards turn 1. Arguably this is turn 1, but we call it chicane turn 1 because that's where we're braking here. Hard on the brakes then, side by side with Mario Sonic then. In we go, both leaving each other space, which is always nice. Through the right we go as we accelerate up here. Mario Sonic going for the cutback. Slight bit of bump draft here. We continue on. We'll take that. Happy days. As we've got P5 up ahead, we're catching very quickly. Old banger number 13 in an old banger of a Ferrari 458. Yes, it is quite an old car now, that car. As we go into the right and then the left. And let's see the difference in speed now. Oh, they had to lift there because they would have bottomed out in that Ferrari. Okay, there's just no competition here, is there? There's no competition whatsoever as we head down here then. Hard on the brakes, just defending a little bit here. Not moving to that racing line because that would probably off-put the Ferrari a little bit and may get tapped there. Not their fault either as we continue on through then. They're looking on the inside, but that acceleration kicks in and we are ahead. We're also 6/10 up on our fastest lap here. That's pretty mental. And as we go into the chicane of death, can we survive it this time? We dab the brakes here. That's a bit brave. Don't dab brakes in the chicane. It's a very dangerous thing to do. We head towards the line then. We get the fastest lap there again as well. Finishing at P5 in the end, but you can see the Mazda 3 is going to be dominant here this week. There's just no other car that will compete with this. So I would advise picking that Mazda 3. It will be a bit rubbery in terms of racing and in terms of touring car action. So if you enjoy that, this is the one for you. So let me tell you how to do a lap then here at Dragontrail Seaside in this Group 4 car. So heading towards turn 1, you got the orange barrier on the left-hand side. That's what I use now. As that hits the edge of your screen is when you're going to want to hit the brakes. Now, the fastest laps will cut this a lot. I don't cut this a lot. What I'm trying to do is hook my wheel on the inside of that curb there and then accelerate out. You may want to short shift to 4th gear if you're struggling with the understeer, but I do 3rd gear because you do have to rev this car to get the maximum performance out of this car. Slight lift here, you can cut that a little bit more, but as we head towards this sharp right-hander, I'm using the end of the gravel, start of the grass there that I've highlighted, which connects with the curb. That is my brake marker for this corner. That kink we've just passed there, you do have to be careful. You will flip your car. I have seen Sonic flip the car, as seen in Discord. If you want to check it out, that is in the description as well. Leave that corner. We're on 35.4 there, not too shabby at all. Expect 35.2s if you're on for a world record as we head towards this left-hander then. And again, we're going to be using orange painted barriers. So on the left-hand side there, my usual marker for this corner. And what I'm going to do, dab the brakes and drop to 4th gear. Now, I want to sacrifice a bit of speed here on this corner. I want to sacrifice it to open up the next 2 corners. I want to cut these a little bit as well, but not too much there as we go through there. And we're going to cut the left-hander a bit more. The more you cut that, the more straighter you can make it on the exit. It actually doesn't bounce as much. So it's very worthwhile cutting the last one more than any of the others because it will just benefit you so much and you'll carry so much more speed. Heading towards Cruise Corner, as Lady Tidge calls it, we've got the start of the curb, or alternatively, the last tree on the right as the cliff goes down. I've highlighted it there. It's very obvious when you're racing. So I dropped 2nd gear, but you want to exit on 3rd gear here. And do be careful of understeer. I do slight lifts here in front-wheel drive cars, if you've not noticed already. That just helps the understeer a little bit here. Right, let's head towards the chicane of death. As you know, this isn't a death, so unfortunately we will do this. And let me explain how. So I want to just slightly lift for this corner, okay? You can't do it flat out in this car. You have to slightly lift. So use the marshals there or the start of that gantry that we've got there, okay? So I lift a little bit and then I accelerate through it. I get as close as I can towards the right-hand side, making sure I don't clip the curb. That means the car is going to stay flat. If you clip the curb, that's how you can end up in the outside of the barrier as well because the wheel flips up and you've got no steering, and that's what happens there. For the final corner, we've got the end of the cliff on the left-hand side, or trying to get as close to that 100 board as possible. But one thing I would advise with this corner, take a tighter line than you think. With a front-wheel drive car, it's all about pointing and going. So I take a really tight line here and get a good exit. That was actually faster than any world record time that I'd seen at that present time as I continue on. And that was a 1:44 lap. Let's jump to Daily Race C then, where we're at Daytona in a Group 3 cars, if you can't already tell, and a new meta showing its face here. The Ford GT LM Spec 2. That's what I'm in right there. Just sure it's the LM Spec car anyway. We're doing 10 laps here at Daytona. It's a rolling start. Racing medium tyres, you do have to pit. ×4 fuel, ×4 tyre wear, and only the brake bounce is changeable. Now, that fuel is a bit of an issue. You just have to keep it in mind. It's not like substantial, but it's enough where you may have to short shift or fuel save. I didn't actually notice this when I first started the race, and you're going to see my reaction during the race. Let's jump to it now. Let's have a look exactly what happens. Right, here we are then for the final race. We've got Ford GT in P1. Chelsea choosing the Peugeot versus Gran Turismo car in P2. Now, I do believe it's quite bad on fuel, that Peugeot. So do let me know in the comments whether I can use that for Beat the Meta or not this week, because I think this is one of the only times potentially we can use that car. And I don't think it's the meta this week. It's very fast at the track, but in the race, because it's so bad on fuel, I'm not sure it's going to be up there. Do let me know in the comments, though. I'd be very interested in that feedback. Right, turn 1 there. Not too shabby. We tried around the outside of Womble leader here as we continue on towards turn number 2. Nobody died either, which is surprising here at Daytona as we go into... Oh, I think somebody just died. Oh, speak of the devil. Sorry, my fault. My bad. Commentator's curse. Somebody died there as we continue on out. We're in P13, though, so not too shabby at all of a start here for us. And you can see there, I wouldn't rev this car anyway. It doesn't need revving the Ford GT as we go into the right down inside of Hodgson then. Do we get it stopped? Well, we do. Hodgson tries to keep that position then as we continue on through here. A little bit of oversteer from myself and Hodgson as well in that Supra, but we are up into P12 as we head towards the left. Then Hodgson looking down the inside. Just got to leave a bit of room on that inside line there for Hodgson as we continue on out there. Part of TCR, of course. Lots of people are part of TCR here as well as we continue on towards the chicane. So, I didn't know it was a fuel race at this time, so at the moment I'm just revving the car, doing as normal, and I really should have clicked when I looked at the settings, but there we go. Benbo's going for a bit of rally crossing in the Ford. It's not made for that, but a good effort all the same. Oh, nearly spins it as well as we continue on into P11 then. We're going to pull in behind Mario Sonic. So at this moment, I'm like, okay, I'll have to pit at some point, so surely I'll just pit to get out of traffic. That was going through my mind right now, and that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to bump draft Mario Sonic. Allow Mario Sonic to continue on. I was looking to see up ahead anybody pitting. Not many people pitting, so I was like, do you know what? I'm going to take advantage of this. I saw Danny pit up ahead as we leave here then, and we are at the back of the pack. Not far off Danny here as we go in towards turn number... I don't even know what turn it is. The hairpin. That's what we'll call it as we continue on out of there. But we've done the pit stop. It's now all about continuing on. Then it clicked in my mind. I'm like, maybe it's a fuel race. I'm like, uh-oh, I've got 8 laps of fuel. I've got 9 laps of the race to go. It'll be fun this then, isn't it? So I do try to do a bit of fuel saving to half shifting, as I've talked about in the car profiles, of course. And when I talk about the car profiles and fuel saving, by the way, this is that exact moment where performance matters. As we go past Soda Bull Line, just coming out the pits, as we're up into P11 now. So we have jumped quite a lot of people here, especially people who are racing. Mario Sonic's already been in the pits as well. So that early pit stop did help us out here as we continue to lap number 6, where we do actually catch up to somebody who hasn't pit yet. It's Javier in a BMW M6 as Danny sent it down the inside. Now, I know Danny has to make this move quick. And the reason he has to do that is because I'm here, okay? I'm in the Ford. It's the better car than the Genesis here at this circuit. And I'm close to Danny. So if I get on the straight behind Danny in the slipstream, I can overtake Danny quite easily. And that is why Danny's trying to overtake as quick as possible here, that BMW M6. Now, at the moment, I'm trying to fuel save. Danny doesn't know my situation in terms of fuel saving here, but we are catching up with that fuel. You can see it's 4.1 laps remaining. We're basically heading towards the chicane, so not too much to save now. And as we head up here, I'm just letting off the throttle. I'm not trying to get as close to that BMW. One word of advice here at Daytona. Don't be close to cars in front of you going into the chicane. Just make sure you get a good run through the chicane so you can overtake them on the exit and run towards turn 1. That's the way to overtake here at Daytona. If you're going for the overtake in towards the chicane, you're more than likely going to lose it on this straight here. Now, you can see the speed difference there between the BMW M6 GT3 car and the Ford. Just no difference there. We're just completely gone there. I've got somebody else in the pits. You can see we're catching Danny, but again, I'm using fuel map 6 here. I know Danny's quicker on the infield of this circuit, okay? So it's all about here using the advantages. Danny's quicker on the infield. Let Danny stay in front. Use that slipstream to save a bit more fuel. That allows me to keep an advantage as well, because I can obviously slipstream on the straights and save some fuel. Now, coming into here, lap number 7, I was going to set up Danny on the exit, but I just understeered too much. I actually used too much of the curb on the first part of the chicane on the inside there. That gives me a 0.5 second penalty. That's obviously cost me a little bit in this race. Now, I take that penalty, and I notice the BMW M6 is catching me, but not enough here to potentially overtake me. So I go defensive in towards turn 1 here. And the reason for that is I need to keep this place. I can't have that BMW in front of me. I am the quicker car here. So if I stay in front, I keep an advantage here. Slight tap from the rear. Nothing major there from Javier. Just a misjudgment. Nothing to worry about there. But we advance towards lap number 10, and all the leaders have come out here, and Danny's just jumped them. Now, remember, I had that 0.5 second penalty, and Danny has jumped them, and it's cost me massively because I'm at the back of this pack here. I'm at the back, so very critical you don't get penalties in this. We've got, what, 3? So I've got 2. Hello, what's happening here? Oh, the Ford GT's going rally crossing. They're doing a bendo as we continue towards, well, the start of the oval here then. So up ahead, the chance here is P3 potentially, and what I'm going to do here is fuel save towards the chicane. I don't want to get too close. Remember the strategy. Don't be too close going into it. Be close on the line or ahead of them and getting the run essentially. So the French driver's just gone ahead of the Greek driver as we go through here, and then we're going to really speed out of this corner. Oh, the Greek driver! Well saved there. Well saved there. Titus? I don't know how you say that. Sorry. As we continue on then. Right, here we go then. This is the slipstream run towards the line. You're going to have a lot of races that are going to be like this, ever so close. What do you do? Where do you go here? I've saved enough fuel then. It's a run towards the line. The Greek driver goes for it. This is what I mean. Overtaking before the chicane. Better to overtake after. The Greek driver gets it. I'm looking to try and get the run here. So close, but not quite coming out there. So I do finish in P5 in the end. Danny won in the Genesis. But that 0.5 penalty cost me so much. You do have to be careful because I could have been there winning this race. But unfortunately, P5. Chelsea did well in the Peugeot Vision Gran Turismo car. But as I say, that's very bad at fuel apparently. Chelsea had to refuel as well. So you don't have to refuel. I need to point that out just before we go into this lap guide. You don't have to refuel. And I'd advise making sure you don't to save a bit of time in the pits. Right, heading towards turn 1 then. You're looking for the line in the center of the circuit. You can use a flag indicator as a marker, but just after that line is when you're going to brake. Brake in a straight line, and as you start to turn, start to release the brakes. Okay, you notice I do that there. Be careful on exit. You get a little bit of power oversteer. Nothing major though. You can see that in this car as we head towards the next corner then. So you can use the yellow truck on the left-hand side or the one board on the right-hand side. They're both brilliant markers here, okay? Now, I found with this car at Daytona, a tighter line is relatively better nearly in all situations. I don't know why. This car prefers it, in my opinion. So I'm going for a tighter line here at Daytona. Try, test it for yourself because some people will struggle with that just because it gets a bit more oversteer because you're overturning the car. Just try it yourself and then get a feel for it, okay? So we're going to head towards this next corner then. A very obvious marker here. You've got that black mark on the left-hand side of the circuit. I'm braking just after that, okay? And again, brake in a straight line. Yes, it's on a corner. Brake in a straight line as if you're heading out of the corner and then come back. A tight line is a good line here. Again, that's what I'm going for here. And then I'll start to accelerate once the car balances itself. You will suffer a bit of power oversteer on exit. Not quite as much as the previous corner though. Heading towards this left-hander, this corner is vital, okay? You need to get this right. So as the circuit veers off there towards the right-hand side, you're going to use that marker just after it as your brakes, okay? That's when you're going to brake. Now, you want to keep a tight line here. A wider line can work, but a tight line and get the throttle down will give you loads of time, and that's what I try and do there. Now, you need to prioritize that corner for the speed. That's what you need here. Speed as you head towards this chicane, and this chicane is vital as well. So that is why I say that's a priority corner previously. This one is as well. So after the two board, I've highlighted that just for information. There's a flag indicator in the center of your screen right now. Just after that is when I brake. Use all the curb on the left-hand side. Go towards the right then. I stay in 4th gear here. That reduces understeer. Now, I'm highlighting this part of the curb, okay? As long as you have 2 wheels on the yellow bit, you are fine. Even by a centimetre, you are fine. So you're going to see a lot of cutting there, but just be careful of that. And then go towards the left-hand side. Minimize the distance on this circuit, and then start to head towards the line. Now, I keep an inside line here. And what I actually do is go over the yellow line here to just minimize it. It takes a 100th off. 100th is a 100th here. And the times are going to be so close. As you saw, I got a 43.9 there. Might try again and go a bit quicker because it was good fun this morning to have a go at that. Right, headed towards a blooper here at the hairpin at Tsukuba. This is Consta. Goes a bit too deep. You can see that there. Nowhere for Consta to go. Just tap Mario Sonic there and tries to get out of the way a little bit here. Mario Sonic goes by, and I'm also going to steal a little bit of a position. Right, let's jump to the first race I did here then. This is why I didn't show you this first race, because there wasn't much racing action after this incident. So we have, well, bit of crashing there by people. And then I just tapped the inside of Shelty there. I thought there was a space, trying to take advantage, trying to get 4 places in one. Didn't work out there. Shelty decides to crash again. Shelty crashes again. Oh, dear. So we just wait for Shelty there. It wasn't my fault. I tapped the rear of Shelty. We continue on there. So we advance a bit further on in this race then. We're just having a fun race here with Shelty, also part of TCR, of course. Shelty's going to get all that oversteer once again and decides to repay the favours, sending me round. You can see me laughing. It's all good fun. And we're going to spin the car back round then. There we go. So all good fun. Bit of bloopers there for you from the first race. That's why I didn't show you that. I gave you a better race to show you here. So we've got the Citroen here. Just releases the brake a little bit on the entrance to the corner there to try and get ahead. It wasn't going to work out. You can't outbrake a Mazda 3 unless you're in a Mazda 3, unfortunately. Let's jump to some deaths here at that chicane, of course, as we go through here. What happened here? Oh, Hodgson hit the barrier first. Oh, Radion had nowhere to go and gets a huge amount of engine damage as well. That was a painful one. It really was. Oh, a 4-second penalty as well. That is harsh. That's really harsh. Right, we've got the Greek here, Alpha 147. You're in the wrong car here as we go through the left-hander. And you see that bottoms out on the curb and goes for the spin for that untimely death. That's when we were on the inside, of course. Let's advance to another death at the chicane. This is the final blooper, actually. We got Danny. We did see this in the race as well. Come through here. Just a bit too much understeer. Hits the corner. And that's the end of the race for Danny there as well. That's going to be it for this race, folks. I do hope you have enjoyed it. And that's it for this video as well. I'll say race. We did 3. Now, if you did like it, give it a like. Subscribe to the channel. Stay in touch with all the latest content. My logo's there if you want to subscribe. 2 videos there to check out, including last week's time trial guide. But I do hope to see you in another video or live stream again very soon.